We went through a process of trying to improve the safety in our labs, and part of that was trying to reduce the access of the amount of people that could come into the lab. Michelle had been working at CSIRO for some time. She'd often talked about the lack of opportunities for people with disabilities. So she actually worked in the role for a small amount of time herself, so she could really understand it. They needed to have a certain level of physical ability, and also we needed them recognising that it is a lab. There's some dangerous things in there.
Alicia suggested the position to be open to people with disabilities, and so advertised through the regular HR channels, and it went out to disability employment support organisations, and then it didn't get to interview process because the applications did not meet the criteria. The way potential employees or applicants were identified was to go out to community, word of mouth really, and to ask for suggestions or for people to apply.
Michelle used, I guess, her personal network. She knew of Gus through a personal friend and a couple of other people who we also interviewed, and just asked the question, would you be interested in this type of role, and would you be interested coming in for an interview? For Gus's interview, he was actually really uncomfortable. We just sat down in a tea room, didn't really want to talk to us or look at us, so we just went, you know what, let's just go into the lab. And we went down into the lab, we showed him some of the tasks that he might do, asked him if he would happily come in and help us, and he jumped straight in there.
So yeah, with bacterial expression, it's obviously critically important that you're growing what you think you're growing. So clean glassware is critical from that perspective, and sterilisation of that glassware. Any contaminant in the glassware that you're not aware of can change the result.
He understands that his role is really important and that he has to do certain things.
Hi, my name is Gus Wackout. I'm working at CSIRO, and we're going to lab. Autoclave rubbish, clean glassware into lab, and store lost media. I will go to glassware. If something goes wrong, I get my workmates.
Basically, when we first started, we had to describe what the job actually was, create a set of lists and routines for Gus to follow. And then over time, we've refined those lists, we've adapted those lists to Gus's needs, we've changed protocols where they didn't work, or we've included steps that we felt were being missed along the way, and we've been evolving the whole process. Gus is just adapting as he's gone along.
We started him at just 2 hours a day. We also started him with full support, and then after probably 2 or 3 months, we increased his working hours to 3 hours a day.
This is Gus doing his job just as anybody else would. This is Gus in the workplace doing his role. There wasn't talk about subsidised wages. There wasn't talk about congregating and having a group of people with impairment doing a similar job. This was a job on its own, given fairly and squarely to somebody who could do the job, and he's part of the workplace. He's a CSIRO employee.
Makes our day a little bit easier by just having to not think about those simple things that he does for us, and then just appreciate his sense of humour as he goes about his business.
I love CSIRO.